Johnny Somali came to Korea with the obvious intention of making clickbait videos to promote his provocative channel. Upwards of up to 7 years in prison or be fined $36,000.
And he also made a deepfake video where he was making out with one of South Korea's biggest celebrities.
This American influencer wants to be famous, but now he's probably going to prison.
He can be in jail. At this point, the maximum is 12 years. However, even the default, even the standard punishment would be over 4 years in jail, even if they don't give him the aggravated maximum of 12 years.
Guys, Johnny Somali is now at the final stage before going to prison. And this time, his situation is getting worse than before. His lawyer is now in trouble, and Johnny Somali's minimum jail time could allegedly be 5 years or more. The big problem now is that the media and people everywhere are criticizing him and raising concerns.
He was living it up in South Korea until he went up to these statues. They're called the Statues of Peace.
Right now, Johnny Somali has no way to run or hide. No matter what tricks he tries, everyone is watching him closely. So what's really happening with Johnny Somali at this point? Let's break it down in this video. It has now come out that Johnny Somali tried using different tricks in court to avoid pleading guilty. He believed that if the witness didn't show up, he could escape without admitting guilt. But when the witness actually showed up, Johnny Somali had no choice left. That's why he was forced to plead guilty. He simply had no other option.
He may have been gambling that the Lotte World witness would no-show and saying, okay, if the witness no-shows, then okay, we can go in not guilty because she's going to no-show and not be there. However, she showed up and was highly motivated to be there. So big shout out to Lotte World, big shout out for filing this charge. So because he changed his plea from guilty to not guilty, he now has 6, count it, 6 confirmed guilty charges. 4 obstruction of business and 2 minor crimes act. So he is a confirmed repeat offender, repeat criminal with all of these. And once again, each charge stacks up the amount of time he can be in jail. At this point, the maximum is 12 years. However, even the default, even the standard punishment would be over 4 years in jail. Even if they don't give him the aggravated maximum of 12 years, the standard, the non-aggravated, is 4 years and some change in terms of money.
Now Johnny Somali is facing a sure 5-year prison sentence. Like I said before, it could even go up to 12 years, since he has already pleaded guilty and also shared the deepfake video. There's a chance the court could give him up to 12 years in prison. Now, what about his lawyer? As you know, Johnny Somali is desperate, pushing his lawyer nonstop, and also pressuring Hank Yoo.
Yes. They show the...
Can you ask him again? The deepfakes that he's seen, the 2 kissing videos, he thinks they're stupid, right?
But the truth is, his lawyer doesn't really have anything left he can do. And to make things worse, he slipped up in court when asked about the obstruction of business charges.
Ramsey's lawyer seems to think obstruction and all this is a joke. He actually was scoffing and laughing, etc., when they were talking about obstruction. Like, oh, it's not a big deal. This is a big deal, and people have gone to jail for years in Korea for this. Absolutely.
After all, he is Johnny Somali's lawyer. So, he can definitely withhold certain things from Johnny. I don't want to disrespect anyone. But what Johnny Somali's lawyer did in court is honestly not a good look to me. As for Johnny Somali, the situation is grim. He cannot survive this, and no lawyer or defense team can do anything to help him. Now, Johnny Somali also can't hide from the public eye because everyone is talking about him, from national television to people on the streets. Everyone is concerned about Johnny Somali and the chaos he created.
So are you familiar with Johnny Somali?
No.
He was living it up in South Korea until he went up to these statues. They're called the Statues of Peace. So he had the grand idea of going up and fondling the women, pouring baby oil all over them. He then undressed.
He gave him the Diddy treatment?
Yeah, he then undressed himself and then he danced on them. He also made a deepfake video where he was making out with one of South Korea's biggest celebrities. Now she's suing him, and that's another 7 years that's added on.
Right now, even most creators are calling out Johnny Somali for refusing to plead guilty in the deepfake case, even though the evidence against him is overwhelming. The truth is, Johnny Somali has always been shady, and that's exactly why he didn't admit guilt.
Don't become like one of the most hated men in a country and not expect people to turn up and testify against you, you raging douche canoe. I think it's a massive shame that he's not... Well, I don't know. I don't want to speak too soon. I want him to go down. But it does make sense why he's pled not guilty to the deepfakes, because he's fucked on those. Johnny, mate, you fucked around, you're going to find out, mate. It's real bad. You're an idiot.
I completely agree with this streamer. There's no guarantee that Johnny Somali will actually plead guilty in the next trial. But at this point, he has no choice. Either he pleads guilty or the court will sentence him regardless of his plea. People all over are deeply concerned about Johnny Somali. No one wants him to escape justice. Everyone wants Johnny Somali to face the consequences of his actions.
You know who Johnny Somali is?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't know?
Do you have any opinions or thoughts about his situation?
I mean, he fucked around and he found out, so that's how it is.
Not a fan.
Nope.
I think he needs to pay the price. It's about time. He's gotten away with it everywhere he's gone without any repercussions. He needs to do time.
I think we should lock him up. I think when he came to Korea, he got beat up, actually. I don't want to say he deserved it because obviously violence is not the way, but he kind of deserved it. I don't know.
And he want to go to China next time. If he go to China...
Nope.
I really want him to get back, you know. I don't want him back in more in Asia country. He's so disrespectful, so I don't like him.
As you can see, people all around the world are fed up with Johnny Somali and his shady behavior. That's why so many are demanding real consequences for him. Since Johnny Somali still hasn't pleaded guilty to the deepfake charges, more details are now coming out about what could happen next. In court, Johnny Somali and his lawyer came across as weak, giving excuses that didn't make sense and arguments that had no logic behind them. From a legal perspective, experts are genuinely worried about how this case is being handled.
Deepfake was a disaster for Johnny's defense. They pretty much confessed. Let's talk about this. So Ramsey's lawyer argued that Ramsey doesn't know how to make a deepfake, that he is incompetent to make a deepfake, which, look, we all know that's BS. It takes 2 seconds to make a deepfake. There's AI, there's other mechanisms. Anybody can make a deepfake, and Ramsey is certainly capable of it. But beyond that, that's what the lawyer said makes him innocent. The lawyer said he didn't make it, so because he didn't make it, he's innocent. But the prosecutor immediately countered, once again, getting up there, getting in their face. Great job by the prosecution, amazing performance. Said, so you deny making the deepfake, but you admit, you confess to distributing, which is publishing, the deepfake. Ramsey's lawyer said, well, he was drunk. He admits distribution, but denies production.
It's so laughable to me. This logic, seriously, this is the kind of reasoning that gets you in trouble. I did another crime, so that's why I did this crime. Can you imagine a lawyer arguing in court that Johnny Somali was drunk, and that's why he showed the video? So, if someone does something wrong while drunk, does that make it a different crime? Absolutely not. That's exactly why Johnny Somali's lawyer's logic is so weak. What can he even argue when there's nothing left to defend?
So saying he confesses that he distributed but denies production. First of all, there is no I was drunk defense in the statute. Being drunk or high or whatever is not a defense. It's did you do it or not? There's no state of mind involved here. So being drunk is not at all going to mitigate this or make this better or make him not guilty. That is not going to work at all. But the bombshell admission is the admission of guilt as to production. It's not relevant. The only thing that's relevant is that Ramsey distributed or published it, meaning whether or not Ramsey made it.
Now, Johnny Somali is in serious trouble. From the way things look, there's no easy way out. He could end up with 12 years in prison, or at the very least, 5 years. So, what do you guys think about the whole Johnny Somali situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments.